your own voice, lead from within. With me today, Nick Motichka and Grant Morel. How you doing, guys?
All good, thanks, Nomsa. And how are you?
I'm good.
Great.
I'm good. So today we are talking about the topic. So anyone knows the topic for today? Stop focusing on the future. Focus on today instead. What do you think about the topic, Grant? I know you wanted to say something.
Networking.
Yeah?
Yeah, networking. Networking is the future, yeah.
What do you think, Nick, about this topic? I know we were talking earlier, so you were saying this topic is perfect for parents.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think it's, as a parent, it's kind of trying to remind myself almost daily that these moments that you have with your kids at the different stages are super important, and they don't last long. And so we kind of get sucked into, the day-to-day of things and not maybe enjoying the moment. And before you know it, those times are gone. And for me personally, when I do, actually get down and play and do the things that they want. So my kids are quite young at this point. So I have a 9-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 4-year-old, all 3 boys. And so, yeah, when the boys ask me to go outside and play football or throw a ball around or whatever it is, I always go through this thing in my head where it's like, they ask, do you want to go outside and play? And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, nope, but I'm going to. And then I do, and I get my butt off whatever I'm doing, and I go outside and I do the thing. And then when I look back at the end of the day, it's almost always the favorite part of my day is when I got out and did that. And so, yeah, I think that's a good lesson for, other parts of my life as well, is just to stop focusing so much into the future and worrying about what's coming or what you've actually even going into the past as well, and just live in the moment. I think it's huge for our happiness overall. Over to you guys.
Yeah, I think it's very, very important to what you're saying, Nick, that living in the future. Yes, we can plan our goals, we can have a vision for the future, but we don't need to stay there. We need to come back and live in the now and just enjoy every moment. My daughter, she's 15, another one, she's 7, but I can see the time where we used to spend time together. We used to do everything together. And even when she speaks, she's like, I had so much time with mommy before you were born. She speaks to her sister. But now she does not want to hang out with her parents. She wants to hang out with her friends. And she used to go to her dad over the weekend. Now she's decided she goes in the week. So weekend she can go and visit her friends. She can hang out with her friends. So things have changed. She's like enjoying that time, but at the same time, as a parent, you have to wish them well. You have to. I look back at the times that I spend with her. I'm like, I wish her well, and but she come back. They go to a different phase. Now it's all about friends. And then later on it changes, it's all about parents. And then you are like, when you want them to move out, like when she's 17, when we wanted to move out, she'll still be here because she needs to finish sixth form before uni. So we'll be wanting her to be independent, and now she'll be clinging with us. And then when you want them to be free, and then they want to be here. So it changes phases. So I think it's important to live in the now. What do you think, Grant?
Great question. It's something which I talk about quite a lot. I talk about networking, right? And it's network, and you network for the future, but you also have to network for now, because when you look at it, people would always say, "Oh, you must live." Yeah, you got to live in the present. You got to live in the past. I say you have to live in all three. You have to live in all three. you know, in my industry, I'm gonna rock the boat here and say in my industry, the personal development industry, there's a lot of nonsense spoken in it. There's a lot of nonsense. People say things because it sounds like the right thing to say. But I'm a little bit of a maverick in that sense. That I will say that, you know, the answer is a little bit more complicated than a flippant statement, because you have to look at the past because we learn from the past, but you don't absorb the past because, you know, if something bad happened, you don't want to stay there mentally. But you do need to learn some lessons from the past. But when you take these to the future, you have to say, okay, because that happened, because that happened in the past, is that still going to happen in the future? Or can I make some adjustments so that we adapt to the future? And yes, you should spend time building for your future self and being very thankful that you did that. But why are we doing it? We're doing it also for the present moment, because in the future, that will also become the present moment in the future. So you mustn't forget to enjoy the journey along the way. And this is something that I've had to remind myself of. Not that I'd ever forgotten it, but I need to remind myself of it. And I did even last week. Why? Because an awful lot of things are happening in my career right now. A lot of things are happening. And it could, if I'm not careful, get very, very busy. Literally today, I've been asked to host another 4 events, just like that. Sure. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to need at least a few weeks' notice. The next few weeks are mapped out already. That's done. There's no way I could do it. But in that time of my scheduling, I do schedule time out to do not very much. Example, hosting an event at the weekend. Colleagues from overseas came directly after I finished the event. I went to see them, and I've been busy. Last night was the only time I sat down and had time to think clearly, if that makes sense. And I scheduled that time in because I needed to be present with the here and now. Where am I right now? What am I doing? Over the next 3 weeks can be chaotic. I know I've got to achieve this and that in between. And I do want some time for myself to enjoy those few weeks. I don't want to look back and just say they went and I don't remember them. I want to be doing my work, which I love my work. I make it very important that my work is something I love, but I still need some time for myself so that I can enjoy the present moment. This is why, example, if I go on business trips, I will very rarely just go for the trip and come back. I will have a little bit of leisure time so that I can enjoy that moment, that landmark in my life, and remember that. So that I can enjoy that present. It's not just an investment for my future, you know, and that's why I look at it, because it is so important, as Nick says, like with children and stuff, those times don't come back. They don't come back. Sure, you've got to, you know, people have got to invest for the future, absolutely. But I always say to people, don't work all the hours that God sends. Work a fair amount of them, use them wisely, reinvest that money wisely, because success is not about the money you make, it's how you reinvest it. But allow free time to enjoy the moment with the loved ones around you, because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. So that's the way I look at it, Nomsa. You also made a good point about, you know, kids go through phases, don't they? And they do, yeah. They're all about kids. They're all about the friends. All about friends. Friends. This person said this. That person said that. And then at some point, the pendulum swings. Go back to the parents. It does. It's a very transitional time for children. So we have to be aware of that. So yeah. So you've got to kind of be there for them in the background. As Nick says, he doesn't always want to play football, but he's going to do it. And quite often, very glad he did, because it's the best time of his day. So yeah. And in a way, this is my point. This is Nick living in the present to invest in the future. Because when you're older, you will look back and think, yeah, they were precious times. So it isn't working at one in particular. It is what I call working across the range. You look at the past, you learn from the past, you take the lessons from the past, put those into the future, and operate them now in the present. So you're operating throughout all the range of all three. And I think that's what leads to having a fulfilled life. That's what I think. Have you got any other thoughts around that, Nick, where this plays out in your hectic hectic life as a father of kids.
Yeah, I actually really like that, how you just described the personal development growth industry, and how, yeah, there's all these buzzwords and all the things that you should be saying and should be doing, and it's almost like another layer of guilt that that we're getting from the side that we maybe it's not so beneficial, right? And it's really good to just be reminded that, and not to feel that guilt when you are, taking lessons from the past, or you're dreaming about your future, is to realize that that's all part of it, and to not be so hard on yourself too in those moments, and because it's all important, right? And I definitely agree with the sentiment of, yeah, you need to take those lessons from the past, because the way I think is, the universe is going to keep trying to teach you those lessons until you heed them. And I've felt that in my own life numerous times. I told a story, I think last week or the week before, about in my own life, I was very materialistic and focused on fancy cars and nice suits and the blingy timepiece and all those things. And
you know what, Nick, when you said I'm wondering what made you change your mind with the mindset. What did you do to actually live that life the way it is and move away from the materialistic? I'm interested.
So I think for me, it was starting to actually listen to my heart, and to start making decisions based on what feels good to me. And so for me, that was quitting the only career I ever knew, which for the listeners, I was a police officer for 17 years. And it was a career that I'm really glad I did it, and I have no regrets, but I'm really glad it's in my rearview mirror now as well. And so I chose my career from my wounded inner child, actually, after some serious self-reflection. Is I chose that job in order to be seen, because I didn't feel seen as a child. And so I thought in my subconscious that putting on a uniform and driving a police car and all those things would get me seen by the public, and also by my parents, right? And to be able to for them to be proud of me, because in my family, my father was a police officer as well. So when I look back now with the benefit of hindsight, I chose that career for the wrong reason. So it wasn't right for me. And so once I realized that, which was very early on in my career, but I'm super stubborn, and I just pushed through for 17 years. And when I decided that I was going to choose myself, and that quickly led to the end of my career, and dealing with all of the traumas that I'd collected along the way. At that point, all those materialistic things that I had, that always kept me going, to the job every day, it was to pay for the fancy house and the suit and the cars and all the things. Once that job fell away, those things weren't so important, because for me, they were a distraction. They were just keeping me moving forward. And so once that wasn't a thing for me, that focus, that hyper focus on the material, has just fallen away. And don't get me wrong, I still love shiny things, and I love nice quality, all of that, but it doesn't rule my world anymore. And it's not something I prioritize over more important things like family and doing more activities rather than things. So yeah, that's where I think that come from for me.
I love that. I love what Grant said, that you have to live in the now, and you turn down a job for hosting because you feel that you have to rest. You feel that as a person that, yes, you can take some work, and then at the same time you want some me time as well. I think it's very, very important to acknowledge your body and to acknowledge your health. I know we can get carried away writing goals and wanting to accomplish everything, but at the end of the day, not enjoying our living in the now, and then before you know it, something happens health wise. So, and I also like what Nick is saying, that material is no longer important in his life, although you love nice things, you love the quality, but it's no longer important. I think that was my mindset. I actually prayed one day, I fasted and prayed, and I was like, actually, I need to live my life, because in Africa, I didn't worry about, like when you come from the countries like Africa, I think India, and there's some other countries, there's African Western countries, you don't really, we hold on to God. Our mindset is different. When we don't have something, we are not bothered. When we have it, we are grateful for having it. So when I came to the UK, I started following like people like working hard, like wanting to look good, was my priority to look good and make my family live a good life. But then when I fasted, I was like, actually, I don't have to go this pace. What am I doing? I was like, I just need to slow down. And so actually, I made a decision that I'm happy. Like Nikki, you are saying, I love good things. But if they're not there, they're not there. It's like during lockdown, Martin started worrying. He was like raising his concern about now lockdown, things are not going to go the way financially, things are they're going to be tough. And I was like, what do you mean things are going to be tough? And he was like, so you show me your worry, I fix things. So I was like, we have to downgrade the house if this house is gonna worry somebody. So I just realized that, those are not things that are important. When you have a big house and is struggling to look after it, you can look after it. But you have extra money to look after it, is fine. But then if you don't have to, why should I worry? I'm gonna go to the grave worrying about materials. So I was like, if you die, you leave inheritance behind. I have 2 kids. They will start fighting for the house that I've worked really hard. So I might as well downgrade and move on with my life and live a happy life. And I think that's what life is. Live in the now. Live what you can. Live what you can tolerate, and not going beyond it. Like Grant you always say, when we are working, like when you are communicating on the live group, you always say, make sure you work and then take a break, because this job can weigh you down. You always say those things, and I'm like, it's like your voice is in my head. Yeah, so I think that's important, and it's important not to worry too much about life and material and things like that. Yes, material and money, it comes with it. I like creating goals. I like to work. I like to fulfill my goals. Like today, I had a meeting where I'm supposed to go to Dubai in December. And I had a meeting with this woman, and I'm seeing that I'm very busy with work. And I was like, you know what? Today, I think I'm going to tell you guys in 2 weeks' time whether I can make it or not, because I have so much work. And I need to make sure that I'm giving work to other people so I can feel free. And she was like, yeah, sure. And for me, it's not negotiable. When I need to take some time, I need to take some time. So, and sometimes we can feel that what advice can you give, Grant, to someone who feels that they have to accomplish something and sometimes they worry too much and focus on the future?
So, right. Okay. Thanks, Nomsa. So the question is someone who wants to complete something and they're worrying too much about the future, but not enough about now, right?
Yeah.
Right. Good question. Well, the future is important, but if it's a question of doing something, this is something I learned. If you focus on becoming good at what you do, and that often is about showing up right now and doing the right things now, you will get a reputation of being good for things. If you do that, then there's never a lack of opportunity in the future. If you get good at what you do, the biggest problem you'll have is learning the ability to say no. And because there's never a lack of opportunity in the future. That's the key thing. So when you sit there, why we worry about the future often is that we think, if I don't do this, there will be never be another time. That's what we think, right? Bit like a relationship that splits up. I will never find another like them. Well, you know what? You won't ever find someone like them, but you could find someone equally as good, but a bit different or better. Yeah. All right. That's what I've learned, because I used to think, oh, I'll never find anyone as good. No, you never find anyone quite the same. But, you know, you can find someone else who you're equally as happy with, if not more. So, but that only happens if you get out there, and you can't get out there in the future, can you? You can only get out there in the present. Okay, so that brings you back to the present. And if you get good at what you do, you've got to look at your time. If you've got a family, you've got a job, you've got business, you've got bills, you've got a house to keep. You just got to take that time. And I say many times, you have 168 hours in a week. Don't tell me you don't. You do. I've measured it. I know. We all have the same time. It's just that we all, Nick, Nomsa, and me, we choose to do different things with that time. So you get your time and you slice it up into pieces. And if you're present with the now, and this is one of the best things you can ever do, is be present at every single moment of what you're doing. It's often said that Bill Clinton, the ex-president, has amazing people powers. Amazing. Why? Well, if you think about it, he would have one or two things on his mind. Yes or no? Yeah, lots of things on his mind. And he's got 1,000 phone calls to take. He's got to be in a lot of places at a certain time. He's got to watch out. He's got his aides around him. There's lots going on. He's got a big criteria and agenda to follow. But whenever he's talking to someone one-to-one, they said, he makes you feel like you are the only person in the room. Why? Because he's totally and utterly focused on the here and now. And when he goes somewhere else, he's completely focused on that moment. Focus is an amazing tool. You can achieve so much by being focused. So there we are. These things, how many of you are checking them right now as I'm speaking? Don't put them down. Be focused. Be present on the moment. That message will still be there in a few moments' time after the show. And this is when I host things. I say to people, you know, commit to yourself. Commit to yourself to being fully focused and to turn those things off. Only for that, it will still be there later. You can put it on later. If we're in meetings, we're busy throughout the day, have it. I've got a friend who's a top engineer, and he said he finds it distracted. So we made a regime for him to switch it off, or he leaves it in a different room. He goes and does his engineering, and every 2 hours, he will take a break, maybe have a cup of tea or coffee or something, or fruit juice, whatever. He'll take a break and check his emails and check his messages for 10 minutes. Then he'll go back and do another 2 hours. That's what he does. That's his regime. That's how, by taking that discipline, by having that focus on his mind, he is completely and utterly present with whatever he's doing at that moment in time. And everybody's fulfilled. So if you're ever thinking, oh, I'm letting people down, no, you're not. You're just creating those boundaries. And you're actually giving a much better performance to everyone around you by being present with them then. So many times I've said to people, oh, as a challenge, look, I've got to do this. Are you there at 6 p.m.? I'm finishing at 6. I'll give you a call at 5 minutes past 6 and we'll have a chat for 10 minutes and we'll get this sorted. And they appreciate it and you get it done. It's just being focused at that point. And that's a way you can fulfill yourself because you get an awful lot done. You get a great reputation. So everybody really appreciates what you do and everybody else gets taken care of by being present in the here and now. That's it, Nomsa. That's what I wanted to share.
Thank you so much, Nick.
Yeah, that's great advice for sure. And it's interesting because I'm just thinking about my own life right now. And so I'm developing a clothing brand. And so meeting with people and doing all the things, running around. And I've found in the last couple of weeks is when I actually take that advice and I'm in the moment and I am engaged and in a positive space, and it's been phenomenal the response I get back from those people when I'm in that meeting, and when I'm excited and I'm engaged and I'm asking them questions and genuinely interested in what they have to say, and just being present with whatever it is, whatever situation it is. And then so my vibration is higher, and then they pick up on that and they feel that I'm engaged, and then they give it back to me, and it's like this positive loop that just keeps coming back. And by the end of the day, I've found I'm really actually quite drained physically, but it's always in a really positive way. It's been a really good day. I've gotten a lot accomplished, felt really good about all of the meetings, and everything went amazingly. And then, yeah, it translates into future good situations, and people will want to meet with you again and want to help you out. And yeah, I think that's great advice. It's something that I've kind of been doing more subconsciously, but that was really interesting to hear you describe it, and describe someone like Clinton who does that. And it makes so much sense, because not only can people feel when you are engaged, but they can very much feel when you're distracted and not in the moment. And for me personally, when I feel that from someone, I think it's, again, goes back to my childhood, not being seen, but it is a pet peeve of mine. And in our current world with the cell phones and all of the distractions everywhere, it's so common that people are just sort of half here, half tomorrow, half yesterday, and they're not doing themselves any favors, right, in any of those places, because they're not engaged. And for me, it's like I don't even want to be talking to that person. It's like, why am I even wasting my time? So yeah, I think that's great advice. I love that. Thanks, Grant.
You're welcome, my friend. You're welcome. And if I can be permitted to grab my phone, and I say I wouldn't, just to check, just to prove something, just scroll through something, because there was somebody who asked if I had a chance to jump on a call with them a few days ago, and I said I can't at the moment, but I will check in with you in a few days if I may. And there we go. Here we go. And I said, just reaching out to you to see how you are, how you're getting on. Is there anything I can do to help? And I've just done that, and it just came back. Thank you for checking in, Grant. I really appreciate you. There you are. And that was for me saying to someone, I can't speak to you now, but I will. Please tell me what the problem is. Let me know, and I'll check in. So I gave the advice and just checked in to see how they are. And they said, I really appreciate you. So there you are. If you have those boundaries, you can be totally present in a moment and set that, and everybody feels appreciated. And I don't do that for the appreciation. I just do that to help my people. And it's by doing that, they feel looked after. But of course, people realize you've got your schedule, and that's how you can make the most of those 168 hours which you have in a week, is by blocking things out. I mean, one of the mistakes I think a rookie coach will always make once you start getting busy is going literally from call to call to call to call, and you burn out. You know, people are different, and you've got to get to know not only your clients, you've got to get to know yourself, how you work. And I need that little bit of fudge time in between, that little bit of looking out the window. And the other day I was quite busy, and I thought, I've got 5 minutes though, haven't I? Come on, I've got 5. So I made this good old cup of tea, and I stood by the front door, and I just looked out there, just breathed and looked at the trees and the leaves on the tree and the sun setting on the fence. And I was like, this is paradise. This is absolute paradise. But it's there if you choose to see it. But if you're rushing around all the time, you won't see it. I'll tell you, you won't see it. But it's there. If you look out your windows now, or you look at your screensaver, or you look at the photograph of someone you love, or one of those things, if you just do that now, or play that nice tune, that special tune that you love, that song in your head, it's there. If you just take 2 minutes out. And I've always said, if you're in a busy office where the phone's ringing all day, and I mean all day, and I used to have a job like that, where that mobile phone was at my ear 12 hours a day, and it rang at 3 a.m, and all that stuff. Driving to work, the phone was ringing. Driving back, it was ringing. I had a career corporate job like that. But what I used to say to people, when you're in the office, just go to the bathroom for 2 or 3 minutes. Just lock yourself in there and just meditate for 2 or 3 minutes. Because they're not going to say where you're going if you go to the bathroom. Just meditate for 2 or 3 minutes, just chill out, and do that a couple of times a day, and it keeps you in good order. It keeps your head straight. Until you can figure out a career that's actually going to reward you better. Okay.
I love that, Grant. I love that, and what Nick is saying as well. Sometimes you have to take a break. And for me, there's times where sometimes the people will ring me and I just ignore the phone. Or sometimes I'll pick it up, and if I hear that they're okay, I say I'll call you back, because I just need some time with the business. And Ngozi talk shows, like when I'm finished now, I do the business, and when I'm finished the business, I have to think about text you guys, which you're meant to send me the topic, which you never do. So I have to research your topics, find it. Yes, yeah, telling you now, meant to give me topics, but now you don't have to worry, because YouTube is now giving me topics every day. So I get 10 topics now. So that means I get to send it to you guys. So I don't have to find a topic anymore. So they send me topic suggestions. So then I send it to you. But before, I had to research them. And when I research them, I have to put up with you guys. Do you like this topic? And you guys have to think about it, if the audience are going to like it or not. Then that means I have to continue doing some research. But Claudia, she's really good. When she's on it, like topic, and Carol Ann, they're like, there. But now you don't have to worry, because I get topic suggestions. And for those who are watching Ngozi Talk Shows, if you are at our page, guys, if you go at the bottom of our page, Nomsa wants some gold to grow the community. So if you look down there at the bottom of Ngozi Talk Shows on Facebook, or if you are at Hope Springs Eternal Introduction Agency page, you scroll down there where you can comment, you see the star. That star is the gold. It means you can show appreciations by giving Ngozi Talk Shows whatever you want to give. If you give on Hope Springs Eternal Introduction Agency, it will still go to Ngozi Talk Shows account. Then that means we can reach more people. And so, yeah, and back to the topic. I love living in the now. I love meditating when I get up in the morning. I love meditating, and I love praying to God so that I can stay focused. It is very, very, very important. But before, I used to think that I have to accomplish everything. And I was talking to Des the other day. He's arranging an event which he's going to get in trouble. He is so busy in a way he cannot pick my phone call. So I said to his secretary, you tell him next time when I see him, he's not getting a hug from me, because even if you are busy, you have to pick up the phone and say, oh, and then he was texting me because, Noms, I am so busy. I have to do this. I was like, just give yourself time out. You don't have to be busy. So that's how people get busy. Some people get so busy in a way they can't breathe. But for me, I don't watch TV anymore. I miss TV, actually. It's been 6 months, I think, since I've not watched TV. So I don't watch TV now, but when I'm taking some time out, it means I'm praying or I'm listening to music or I'm just dancing. I love to dance. Sometimes I just play my African music. African music, when I play it, it makes me happy. So I just dance along, or sometimes when I'm walking on the street, you see me with some rhythm. It means I'm just having fun. I'm just living in the now. If I die today, I will say I just danced the last second of my life. So I'm cool with that. So that's what I do. Because, when you worry about the future, it drags you to the future. We can plan. I love planning for the future. Like right now, I am searching for the investors. I had enough. I was talking to this guy on LinkedIn, and he was like, the loan company based in Dubai, and it was like, we can help you to grow your business and stuff. So I was like, actually, it's giving me some ideas. What am I doing? I need to listen to Tony Robbins. I need to go and approach people to help me actually take my business to the next level. So I was like, when was it? A few days ago. So I had to fix my business plan. This morning, I was fixing my cash flow forecast, because when you do things like when I started my business, I got proper training. Like some people, they pay people to do it. So I sort of asked somebody to train me. So I had 2 people that were training me how to create a cash flow forecast, how to design a business plan. So that means next time I don't have to spend money asking someone to do it for me. All I need to do is think about the vision that I have in my head and just put everything down. So when I'm speaking to the investors, I know what is going on in my head. So I was like, yeah, I think I need to do that. And that's why this woman from Dubai, and I was like, it sounds tempting, but I think I need to focus on the investors now. I need to really search. I've gone through one, so I'm counting everything. So there's one that I've gone through. So I think there's going to be 100, but I don't mind. Until I get there, somebody's going to see my vision. So that's the plan now, that I need to take it easy. And something happened yesterday. So that could change you guys. I don't know what's going to happen. Somebody approached me yesterday on LinkedIn. I was like, sure, cool. You want to change my life? Go ahead. Honestly, that is living in the now. Somebody approached me on LinkedIn and they was like, give me this offer. So I was like, okay, I'm listening. So how are you going to change my life? So he said, I'm going to do this for you. So I said, how much are you going to charge me? And he said, I'm not going to charge you anything. You like my work, you would decide what I'm worth. So I was like, go ahead. And he said to me, give me go ahead, like control, give me to manage this thing. I'm not going to say anything. Give me to manage this. A permission to manage it, and then I'll go ahead. I was like, go ahead. I'm not saying no. I'm not living in the future, and I'm going to say go ahead. So it was like, and then he sent me a message, is like taking pictures, like, yeah, I've started doing the work for you. I was like, hallelujah. So I'm having a meeting with this guy at 4 p.m. today. So it's just going to be a hilarious story. If he does what he said he would do, honestly, it's just going to be hilarious. I went to the kitchen and I was like, what the heck am I becoming? Because this guy, he approached me instead of me questioning whether is he loyal or no. The other person approached me in the morning, so I found myself questioning him. But this one in the evening, I didn't question him. I was like, you want to change my life? You feel that you can help me to become this? Please go ahead. Tell me what you need from me. So then I was like, after I finished, when he was sending me pictures, I was like, what's the heck? What have you done with the Nomsa? I was like, okay, that's what life is about. So if he changes, if he promises what he promised, so it's just going to be a funny story when I tell people. So that is living in the now. That is living in the now, Nick. If you meet somebody and they offer you to help you, don't question them, like to say, are you on drugs? What is in it to me? No, never question God. God is plan. Just say, you want to change? Go ahead. So that's what I did. I said, you want to change my life and you want to change things around, and just go ahead. And I felt that I needed to give him that permission to do that. So God knows what's going on in my head. I have no idea. But I think I'm meditating too much and living in the now. And so I don't know. What do you think, Grant?
I think that's great. I mean, I laughed first of all when you said that, but it's people reach out because you get this.
And what's his name? Richard Branson. What's his name? This guy that I've sent you a message this on WhatsApp. What's his name?
Oh, Richard Branson?
Oh, yeah. I actually contacted him and his wife when I was doing the summit. Yeah. And I was like, I'm going to contact these two and see who's going to reply. One of them got to reply. But when I saw the email from his wife saying, Nomsa, I'm really gutted that I could not come to your summit. But next time I would like to collaborate with you. Let me know when you're doing the summit. Excellent. His husband wasn't available. He didn't reply. But the wife replied that I would love to work with you and let me know. Yeah, she replied. But when I send that message, it's not the only one. I send to celebrity speakers about 3,000. I send email 3,000. And I go, Alvin Law, and hi, she replied. Some of them wanted to be paid. But when I sent that message, I was in the moment, not in the future. Yeah. It's like, whoever accept me, they're not going to look at me like judge me with my what I have. They're not going to judge me with maybe how many views, how much money I'm worth. If they want to come to me, they'll come to me. And she replied, I was really shocked. And I was like, oh my God. So never judge yourself. So that's why I put that message, that never ever judge yourself or question who you are, what you're capable of. Just go for the things that you believe to be true about your future and your present moment. So I was in that present moment where I just sat there and I was like, Shanda, she's asking me to do the summit. I'm thinking it's the homework and she wants me to do it for real. So I'm just going to not judge myself and send a message to all these speakers, and I did.
You're absolutely great. I mean, that's great what you said there, Nomsa, and I love that, because I always say you just set it and walk away, because just put it out, don't question it, because often we're very harsh on ourselves. As someone once said, the way we speak to ourselves, if somebody else spoke to us that way, you'd probably slap them. but really, don't put yourselves down. Just put it out there, because other people will see values in you that you can't see in yourself.
Yeah.
So just put it out there and look what happened. They come back. And like this guy who said, you get so many people, we will help you do this. And half the people who are on these platforms, they've not even read your profile, because if they had, they could see you help other people do what they're offering to do for you. But you can get the genuine ones, the really good ones. And if you do get them, work with them, give it a trial, have a little thing, see if you can achieve this in this amount of time. If so, then that's good. It's a genuine offer, because maybe they see something in you. I've done this for certain clients. I will work with you to get this result if you wish. And then, we'll talk about it. Depends where you see the value in people. And I speak with certain clients, and there's certain offers I make with certain clients, which is not I do for everyone. It's just for certain people, because I can see where they are now, where they need to get, and where I think I can help them to do that. You create value. And maybe that's what that guy's doing with you, which is great. Give it a shot. Keep it an open mind. And as my father used to say, give it a spin, son. You never know. You've got nothing to lose. Give it a spin, son. You've got nothing to lose. And that was it. And of course, if it doesn't work, no worries, just move on, do something else, find another opportunity. And this big opportunity that I had recently, I wanted to get it. Actually, in the end, didn't feel like I was going to get it. And I said, well, if it doesn't, I was prepared myself for not getting it. I was like, you know what, if it doesn't, you know what, Grant, you're just going to have to find another big opportunity. That's it. They're out there. Just go get one. Simple as that. And guess what? I got on the call, impromptu call, and yep, I got it. And then, as I said, what will happen now? They'll all come together. And,
Yep.
and sure enough, there's another one now. What you don't know, I've been invited to go to LA next week and Rome at the end of the month, at the end of next month, as a result of these things. And I'm like, oh, I've got to go to the States as well. We're somewhere in between. So, and then people ask me, can you host these things now? And I'm like, oh, I had you asked me 2 days ago. Yeah. So now I'm looking at, can I do one when I'm there from the hotel room? There's never an end of opportunities once you get good. And the reason I'm going to LA is there's some connection with some celebrities out there, some celebrities. Hollywood, I'm going to Hollywood. That's if I decide to go. And that's what I say. It's a question of what you choose to say yes to and no to in the end. There's never an end of opportunities. But it's all what I call a nice quality problem to have. It's a nice quality problem to have. And I'm very happy for you, Nomsa, to have that. That's brilliant. That is so good. And like you say, you just put it out there. You don't question it. You put it out there, you ask people, do you want to do this? Yep, no, okay, fine. Don't expend too much energy on thinking, oh, what if they do this? What if they do? Oh,
No.
Wasted energy. You don't know the answer to that. You don't
No,
know.
you don't.
Yeah. Just set the phrase I was kind of trying to come to my mind. I remember it. The phrase is set and forget. Just put it out there and do the next thing.
And not judge yourself either.
No. Other people will do that for you, and they'll do it in a good way. And remember, other people's opinion of you is none of your business. Okay, yeah. Other people's opinion of me is their business. That's not my business. Okay. So that's it. But you know what? Most people like it because if you do something with the right intent, with an honorable intention, that comes across. I can't explain why, but energetically that comes across. People feel your intent, and intent can cut through a myriad of imperfections. I can promise you. Intent is heart, it's soul, it's the thing that connects all human beings, and they can feel your genuine intent. Intent can open more doors than any CV, any qualification, any criteria I've ever come across in the world. If you want any evidence of that, just look back to Bob Geldof, Live Aid, and see that guy who had no damn idea how he was going to do it, but went out there with absolute unshakable intent and energy and pulled it off, and then set the datum line for many other events to come for it in years to come. He's not a person I model myself on, but if you look at his intent, it was outstanding, and it literally moved mountains. So. Yeah. What about you, Nick? Well, when you're faced with those sort of situations, how do you play it?
Yeah, well, I mean, I agree with what you guys are saying for sure, and about putting things out there and then getting out of your own way, I think is important too, is to just put it out, see what happens, and then when it does come back, is to not hold on too tight and not get all wrapped up and then start questioning what's happening. And you just got to let things flow. And then when an opportunity arises, for me, in where I'm at right now, it's like a lot of times I'll just sit back and be like, geez, I don't know, that's something I traditionally wouldn't have done or said yes to or even considered, but it's being presented to me, and I'm at a point, excuse me, in my life where I'm just like, might as well give it a try. Just give it a go. Get out of your way, and if things are flowing in that direction, just put your foot in the water and see what happens, and just not stop yourself and hold yourself back is to just let things happen how they're supposed to. And then that piece you were talking about on intent, and I totally agree. And people, again, it's an energetic thing, and people can just feel that, whether you have ulterior motives, or whether it's something shady you're trying to do, or the opposite, of course, is you're genuinely trying to help the person or whatever the situation is. And that's, you can't fake that. Like, people can pick up on that. And then for yourself too, is you need to make sure that you're getting quiet and not ignoring those, those red flags and that gut feeling too, because you can feel it either way, whether it's good or bad. You just need to listen.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff.
Yeah, listen to, because people say they pray. When opportunities are there, they get scared to go for it. We get this fear, if I'm enough, or if I'm not enough. And then we meditate, and then we write down our gratitude diaries, we write down our goals, and we want to accomplish those goals. We say out loud that we want to accomplish those goals. When it comes to taking action, we get scared. Like, am I going to be enough? Are these people going to take me serious? And to be honest with you, like, when I was inviting other speakers at Ngozi talk shows, the people, they're like, so I can see that they're talking me down, and I'm like, you know what, I'm cool with it. At least I'm broadcasting, at least I'm trying, at least somebody is hearing my message. But I'm like, God, make me a better person. And but what I've realized, like Grant was saying, that whatever you do in life, people always have something to say. There's a guy in the office. This guy, I have never met an amazing man like this guy. He just had a child. He's a very, very lovely guy. And when you hear people talk about him, it's like it's negative. But I'm like, what do you have to be in order to make people happy? He's a manager. He makes all these people happy in the office. Everybody's happy. And you want something, he will, because we're in the building, Henley Business Center is different businesses. So you talk to people, you see people, how they work, how they communicate with their staff. He's a lovely, amazing guy. So yesterday I was like talking to someone, and they say something and I didn't comment, but I said to my heart, but he's a lovely guy. So all those things, it makes me realize that no matter how good you are, no matter how nice you are, no matter how hardworking you are, people always have something to say that can put you down. So you need to be in control with your life. Like we say, think about the now and think about the future. So it's very, very important to our audience that are watching in this Ngozi Talk Shows community, that if you want to follow your dreams, you need to think about Nomsa, like your name. What's your name? What's your second name? What do you represent? Your character, your image, the real you. What do you want your future to look like? Not what Nomsa has said to you. What do you want your future to look like when you are designing that future? Does it make you happy? And just live in the now. Forget about everything else. I remember when I made this choice, when I started doing my personal development, I made this choice. And when I met Martin, he looked at me one day, he goes, he was looking at me. I'm sitting in the kitchen. I'm sitting there. He's looking at me. I said, what are you looking at? He goes, no, sir, you are not fake, are you? I was like, what do you mean? He goes, I like your character. Do you know why he said that? I decided to let it go. Just be me, not faking it. If I don't have makeup, I don't have makeup. I'm not going to wear makeup that day. If I don't feel I'm not wearing makeup, I'm not wearing makeup. If the music plays on TV or on the radio, if I like the music, I just get up and dance. I'm not dancing for him. I'm dancing for myself. If I'm wearing clothes, If I'm feeling good, I walk it. Like Nick was saying, you got to love yourself. Like the same way you love clothes, that's how you have to feel about yourself. And you have to be somebody, when you're kind, kindness comes from within, living in the now and being kind to you. Some people, you hear, if I was to record honestly what people say about themselves, Grant, I'm sure you work with clients, and Nick, you work with clients, like when people are trying clothes, like you can see how much they talk themselves down. Some of them, they are like, I'm fat. And then what? What's the difference between a girl who is fat and who is size 14? You see somebody who is size 14, they're like, I'm fat. So I'm thinking, you see someone who is size 20 and they're struggling really to lose weight, and you're comparing them with you. So I'm like, that's insulting your body. And then you see somebody who is skinny, and they're like, you know what? I'm not sure if I like this body. I just wish I had to put on some weight. Go eat food then. If you're going to criticize your body, there are some people, honestly, who are born skinny. There are some people who are born, they put on weight very easily, like bones. Like for me, on my mother's side, I know we are big. We've got big butt. So for me to have trim, I have to keep going to the gym. So what people say, what I don't like about people, like when they talk themselves, they say bad things about themselves. Sometimes you have to accept who you are. Like if you put on weight, be honest and say, yes, I'm fat, but I'm excited that I'm going to work this weight off, and I'm excited how I'm going to look like when I'm done, instead of like, I don't think I'm enough. I don't know, Grant, whether you have ever worked with clients that basically think they're not enough because of this, because of that.
Probably most people in one way, shape or form feel they're not enough in some areas. It's a human condition. But you see, what you alluded to there, Nonsa, was brilliant. You accept that your body shape, who you are, and certain people need to do certain things. Like it's like studying. Some people can pass exams really easily. Some people need to work at it. Some people are academically brilliant in class. Some people need to work a bit harder. That you have to adjust to your individual style. When it comes to weight, some people are just naturally slim, and some people need to lose weight. And this is what I asked. I was actually at a workshop the other day, and there was a lady who helped people with weight loss, and I was asking them, what is it they really want to do? They want to lose weight, or they want to change their shape, or do they want to get fit? They're different things. What is it they really want? When we boiled it down to it, they want to feel beautiful. I said, that's something different. That's something different. That will partly come from changing shape, but if you want fitness, it might be about firming up. So you can change your shape. If you lose a lot of weight, you may have some excess skin. So what are you going to do with that? It might be about firming up. It may be about that. And why do you feel you're going to feel beautiful? And why is that important? Now, it may sound like an obvious question, but why is feeling beautiful important? Drill back. Where else in your life are you not feeling beautiful? Is it that you need to lose weight, or is it that you need to fix that thing? And then you won't really care too much about the weight. If you're overweight, should you lose weight for your health? Yeah, sure. So just make that adjustment. And like you said, Nobsa, be excited about who you can become. Now, this is what I mean. Then you're looking at the future. So be excited in the present about the changes you're going to make now that are going to invest in the future. So to say we need to live in the past or the present or the future, no, not in my opinion. You need to do all three. You need to look at all three. You're doing the right things now and reward yourself for doing them. You know what? I didn't have that packet of potato chips, that potato crisp. I had some carrot sticks. Yeah, that's really good. I actually feel fulfilled about that because I took some discipline and I did the right thing. You know what? I get more comfort from that than eating those potato chips because you beat yourself up about it. So enjoy it. So, but if you don't need to do that, that's fine also. So it's doing the right things now And how can I say this? It's doing it cheerfully. Just decide to do it cheerfully. Don't have to go to the gym. Choose to go to the gym. Don't, oh, I've got to have a healthy milkshake or whatever, or healthy, choose it. Say, no, I want to, because I want that result. It makes me feel good. So don't do things because you don't have to write that article. Choose to write that article to express your thoughts and feelings with the world. When you choose to do things, it's just that change that dial, that setting. It's a whole different thing. That way you can be really happy in the present, doing the things in the present now that will serve the future. And I think you actually alluded to that really, so when you were talking about that. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing. You are, like you say, you go to the gym now because it's going to serve you in the future. Right? And that's what I call operating throughout the range. And everything is congruent because everything ties together, rather than people doing something now that's completely incongruent with their desired outcome in the future. But it ties together, and you do it cheerfully. You're getting towards success. That's it. Nick.
And I was just thinking too, is with changing your body and changing your thoughts, and I mean, it's kind of empowering, right? Because we, at the end of the day, do have control over that. And then in the future, you can see the result. Like Grant, I love watching you and your energy and all the amazing things you have going on in your life right now. And what's happening in your life right now is a reflection of your mental state and all those good things that you're bringing in. And it's empowering when you realize that, yeah, you have control over those things. Don't get me wrong, it's not always easy to control those thoughts and all that going on. But at the end of the day, it's true. And again, with your body too, is, yeah, when you make that conscious effort and your diet and the exercise and all the things, like, you can change your world and yourself. So it's empowering for sure. Thank you for showing us what's possible.
Thank you. And it is possible for everybody when you choose to take those 168 hours and decide what to do with them. Yeah, it is. Thank you, Nick. Thank you. Nobsar.
So we're just gonna end, because if anyone has been watching, they'll be wondering who is Grant, who is Nick. So let's end with Nick telling our audience who he is and where our audience can find him.
Sure. So I mentioned I was a police officer in my former life, and that wasn't in alignment for me. And now I'm just going all in on what feels good to me, and that's a clothing brand that really means something, locally made and with natural fibers. And my goal at the end of the day is to just live in alignment with my heart and how I feel serves me best in this world. And I hope to be able to inspire people just by being that example.
Grant, thank you so much, Nick.
Thank you, Nomsa. My name's Grant Morrell. I'm an international speaker, coach, trainer, and an international best-selling author. So I use a range of modalities, ranging from process clearing, hypnotherapy, all kinds of coaching, mentoring, facilitating, to essentially, with myself and a team over the last 20 years, we've helped thousands of entrepreneurs, business owners, artists and organizations to increase profits by up to 200% in just a few short months, essentially by helping them work with their team. And everybody does have a team, and I'll show you more about that later. Everybody does have a team, even if you don't think so. Systems, mindset, and their strategy, so that they can live a life, not only a career, but a life of passion, purpose, and freedom, and develop a business, a career, and a lifestyle that can become a legacy for generations to come. So I'm building a global movement. My vision is to have this movement with 1 million leaders to help them live life without limits, so that they can skillfully communicate their message with the world. That's who I am. That's what I do. And that's why I'm here. Nomsa.
Thank you so much, Grant. So guys, if you're watching us at Ngozi Talk Show's page, don't forget to give us some star gold, and that will help Ngozi Talk Shows to reach more people in our community. And if you're watching at Hope Springs Eternal Introduction Agents page as well, you can give us some star gold. It will help us to reach more people to our community. And we are here Monday to Friday at Ngozi Talk Shows, 1 p.m. UK time. I have a cold, my nose are really blocked. So if you guys want to connect with these coaches, please get in touch with me at Ngozi Talk Shows page, LinkedIn, Facebook, or my personal profile page. Or you can email me. If you go to the website www.hseia, you can send me an email. I'll connect you with whoever coach you you want to work with. Or actually, if there's a link on the video as well, it will take you to the Breakthrough Challenge, and I'm sure there are coaches there as well. You can press the link, get their free. The free gifts are still there. Help yourself with whatever gift you want, and find your own voice. Lead from within. Ngozi Talk Shows. Live with grace, everyone.